Podcast. Got a lot of things happening in politics this week. It wasn't just St. Patrick's Day yesterday, but the restaurant's all back together. But let's get to the real stuff. Who's ripping us off this week? Let's talk about your favorite people. OG&E.
OG&E. Okay, so guys, check this out. Something you want to know. Next month in April, your bill on average is going to go up $13.
Yeah.
Now, this is crazy.
And who's making these decisions? Todd Hyatt.
Todd Hyatt, the Corporation Commission, they have gone, here's the deal, I looked this all up. Since 2020, OG&E has asked for 9 rate hikes.
That's
almost 2 a year. And the Corporation Commission gives it to them every time.
Yeah.
This adds up to a total average increase in your utility bills of about $82 a month
in
since
4 years.
2020.
Right, in 4 years.
Yeah.
I just don't understand, you can't get Dems that have any name recognition to even run for these spots, not that they would get it anyway. And Bob, I can't remember his last name, on the Corporation Commission. He was the guy that was out against all this. And I'm trying, Bob Anthony.
And I'll tell you what, OG&E, they make $500 million in profit. This is after expenses, $500 million, $500 million in profit a year. And they need another rate increase because, fuel costs, that's what it is this time again.
Fuel's
last year it was, we need to upgrade our infrastructure.
Right.
And then before that it was, this was great. One time it was, we're going to put in these smart meters and we're going to have this increase. But I tell you what, later on it's going to save customers money with these smart meters. And of course they've asked for rate increases at least 3 or 4 times since that time.
So the area of the city that I'm in, built 50 years ago, that's when the electric grid came in over here. So when it fails, it's 50 years old.
Wow.
Right. I think for my extra money, it should be upgraded. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they need to upgrade it.
I was down for days, very expensive. And this is in a commercial area. We're usually the first one.
So get ready, guys. Next month, your utility bills going up. Going up again.
Oklahoma used to be cheap to live in. It is not anymore.
The utility now we're one of the highest utilities you pay in the nation. We're the highest in home insurance
and housing prices
prices.
and car insurance.
So we're not the cheapest place to live anymore. Actually, I looked this up. Pennsylvania has a lower cost of living than Oklahoma. Ohio has a lower cost of living than Oklahoma.
The Rust Belt.
Yeah, other places too. Kansas, I don't know if Kansas is, but Nebraska.
Parts of Kansas would be, but not Lawrence and Kansas.
Kansas is.
That's wild.
Yeah, so there's only
if the other one comes to you, shout it out.
Cheaper to live.
Okay, what do we got up next? Social studies
standards.
Ryan Walters.
Yeah, came out with these new social studies.
What's Ryan trying to teach 4th graders that even adults can't understand?
He's trying to indoctrinate them into a right-wing conservative ideology.
And philosophy. I think we'd have
white
to throw
nationalism.
both.
It's white nationalism.
Okay, go through some details and let's talk about this.
So one of the things they talk about is one of the things they want to talk to kids about, and even in elementary school, is the effects of the Trump tax cuts.
Which all went to Trump's friends.
Yeah,
and we all paid for them.
At least the top 5% of income earners.
Yeah, I mean, it literally didn't do anything for anybody, and that's what all these savings are for now, because those tax cuts are up in 2025.
He wants future generations to think about reattempt at NAFTA and NATO and what that would look like.
So NATO, we are a non-war generation.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Nobody's seen war, and so they don't really understand why it's important to have allies. And Trump in his life has managed to make it through life without any allies.
Yeah.
He hires lawyers. They're not your ally, they're your lawyers.
Yeah.
That's their job. But NATO's a big deal. And NAFTA, look, you can always renegotiate any contract, but when he said the contracts were bad, he renegotiated them when he was in office.
Yeah. He was the one who did it.
Those are his negotiations. They're his.
But Ryan wants us to talk about that. The other thing he wants kids to do is identify the source of COVID from a Chinese lab.
Yeah.
No kidding. This is in the social studies standards. And we don't even have proof of that.
Right. I'm not even sure I have a statement on it. So ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know. The other thing is identify discrepancies in the 2020 election.
Right. Which there were so few, when it was all said and done, so few. And I just want to point out, you notice that Kamala Harris did not challenge her election. And there were reasons to challenge it.
Yeah.
There really were. John F. Kennedy got in by some pretty shady shit. So I get it that it happens.
Yeah, he wants to talk about, the risk of mail-in ballots and what's the effect of sudden batch dumps of voters. So it's like this is all conspiracy.
And this is college level political science major stuff.
But he wants kids in elementary school to talk about this. See, it's about molding the minds of the future generation so they will change it. See,
Which is what the Heritage Foundation wants to do.
They're gonna brainwash kids.
So
Indoctrination, totally.
So the thing that I'd like to point out in this is when they did all of the comments from parents, none of these things were on it.
Yeah.
They
None of
just
these
weren't
things
on
were
it, and then they just threw them in at the last
This is
minute.
this is all Project 2025.
Yes, it is.
The other thing, the last thing that's on there that's kind of, threw out at me was they removed any mentions of Joe and Obama's accomplishments.
That's just the weirdest thing in the
Don't even
entire
talk
world.
about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why you would do that.
Well,
Look, Trump
because
really could have taken credit for getting the vaccine for COVID if they didn't blow everything right after it.
Because
it really was a big deal.
Because when it comes to Goebbels, Ryan Walters really studied that guy.
Okay, you got to say who Goebbels is. He's from the Western European country that ran over everybody else while their army was on meth.
Yeah, pretty much. He was the propaganda arm guy who said, hey, accuse others of what you're doing.
Right.
And that's basically.
How did both of us know how to say that at the
They're
same time?
indoctrinating kids.
Yeah.
No, we are.
We are.
That's what Ryan's doing.
Yeah.
Ryan, Project 2025.
And he's been doing that from day one.
Yeah.
And now with the Bible thing. So the Supreme Court told him he couldn't do his Bibles. Big day. He's still selling them online with Greenwood. And so I had an interesting conversation with somebody on. There's so much stuff online now. I could go to you as Greenwood and go, hey, I can get you a contract for his music, and Greenwood never even know he's used. And I take the contract and the money and just go away.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's interesting because one of the bills that passed out of the House last week was a bill to send. It was House Joint Resolution, so that means it's going to go to a vote of the people and pass the Senate, and that is to change fundamentally the way we pick our judges.
Wow.
So, and the reason why?
Next move up.
The reason why is because Stitt didn't get what he wanted with the tribes and Ryan Walters, so they put this bill in. So
and they got rid of one of the Supreme Court justices. They failed on the other. And look, I'm telling you, Oklahoma's Supreme Court used to be corrupt.
Yeah. Well, one of the things
that's why we have it the way it is.
And one of the things that's in this resolution that they want to put out is that all the people on the commission that chooses the judges can be from one party.
Yeah, which is insane.
You know where they're going when they're saying stuff like that.
All right, what do we got next?
Well, still on
We're
Ryan
depressing
Walters,
everybody right now.
Talking about Ryan Walters, he had an ethics investigation.
So what a joke. Another $5,000 fine for this guy. And he flagrantly didn't do any of his paperwork. Like everybody knew he wasn't doing it, said he wasn't doing it. What he's proven is if your party is in power, you're not going to get busted for anything. Because a $5,000 check doesn't matter to him. He takes donor money and pays with it.
Yeah, somebody's going to pay. Yeah.
Right. It isn't him. I mean, literally.
Bob Lynn can get some old lady to pay that for him.
Right, exactly. And by paying Jesus for him, Angry Jesus would pay the $5,000 deal. Look.
No. He's got to do training too.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Walters has to do some training on how elections work. Sounds like he did okay on the election.
Sounds like
So look, the question is when do we hold folks that are out there liable? And so you go, well, the Republicans won't hold Republicans liable.
Absolutely.
He polls at 14%, which in a primary might get him through at this point if he got up to 25 or 30.
Nobody's even Republicans are like, I don't like the guy. Rob, the guy that he went after, who's now going to primary.
Yeah. I mean, that guy's got to get name recognition. Walters has what's called, I believe it's 72% name recognition. Yeah. And he still only pulled at 14. So everybody hates him, but that doesn't matter. Everybody hated Trump and he still got back in.
Well, they may see his name as a big negative in the next guy. I don't know anything about him, but you got to be better than the guy.
Rob Miller, I think his last name is. A real normal white bread name. Yeah. And he's a good guy, solid, ex-Marine.
Yeah.
I mean, he really is. He came out and did a rap, and like an Eminem rap to announce his deal. Because he's a high school principal.
Yeah, there you go.
It was fun. All right, what else we got, brother?
Well, the last thing on the Ryan Walters deal, something we haven't talked about in a while, or anybody, and I'm kind of curious, do a records request or something. Where's Matt Langston?
Where is Matt Langston? So Matt Langston, once he got accused of doing something terrible in an election that he was working with a girl up north, meaning like up center north.
Yeah.
And he got accused. The girl wouldn't file charges, though. Because she said she was intoxicated. That's the story on the whole deal. I got the letter. So what she did is she sent it to the next campaign Matt worked on and said, are you aware that he did this, this, and this? And it's bad. And then Matt went running back to Texas, and we've never seen or heard from him since. But Ryan Walters' messaging is really soft and mild now. So I think he's got that 19-year-old kid from up around Tulsa.
Yeah, where's Matt Langston? Is he still getting $160,000 a year for working part-time?
Yeah, and not doing anything.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, look, what I would tell you, if you go down to the Oklahoma State Board of Education, it looks like a gay bar back in the 80s. All the kids are like under 21 that are working there, and, they're all boys.
Yeah.
Very, very, very strange.
Yeah. Can we get a record request on
Yeah,
that?
just
Can we do that? Because I want to find out, are we still paying him?
Yeah, and I talked to the Lost Oval about getting a press pass, so I can actually run it through that. I know. How hilarious would that be?
That's great. That's great.
All right. There's a couple
Patrick loves us.
I believe he does. I believe. Well, we'd hear about it if he didn't. All right. What else? Do you have anything else you want to cover? Or
Nah, man. I got that on Walters.
Okay, so you got sworn in. Your first big meetings tonight, right? Or is this number 2?
No, this is number 2.
All right. What do you guys do in your meeting? City council. Just so you all know how city council works.
City council tonight. We're going to go over a track split.
What's that mean?
Request. Well, somebody has a piece of land.
Right. Call the track.
They want to split it into 2 new properties.
Right.
And then, so they can usually probably build 2.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna do to my house after I move out, tear it down and build 2.
Build to get a track split done, so now you got 2 properties you can build on 2, and now you have, 2 properties, and ones you could sell
Double
off.
money, buddy.
That's basically what they're doing. We have another request for a zoning change. And then there's.
So somebody read his paperwork before he's going to the meeting. I wanna tell you, a lot of city council people don't.
I do, I read it.
Some people don't.
The other thing is, we're doing a bunch of infrastructure fixes. We have the old sewer line, old sanitary
sewer. And you're
sewer.
more acres, just so people know.
Old sanitary sewer, it's like 60 years old, and we're having to do upgrades.
And it's expensive.
So we have some engineering reports and stuff like that, and we're gonna get, we have a horrible fundraiser guy who's our grant writer who just sucks. So hopefully he shows up tonight. I got some things to go over with that guy, because basically what he does is he charges us and brings in what we charge him in a year. And I'm like, yeah.
Really?
He's like, well, first year I'm going to bring in what you pay me.
No, didn't happen.
That doesn't work.
And he needs to bring in 10 times that amount.
Actually, here's where I'm at 5. Because usually what I do, like I said, I look at it like my business, okay? Hey man, look, my field guy, my crew chief.
I have to pay him.
If you can bring in, I'm going to pay you basically about a fifth. 20% of the growth.
Right. Cool.
That's basically what that is.
Fair.
So he needs to bring in 5 times what we're paying him in order to be like what I consider an A-list guy.
I'm interested to see how that goes. Okay, let's move on to Democratic politics.
Democratic.
I happen to notice on the internet that you got yourself in a little tussle.
Oh yeah.
And it was over something. Quite frankly, let me explain so it doesn't sound like you're being one-sided on it or anything. Democratic Party in Oklahoma has been nothing short of an abject failure.
Pretty much.
For the last 8 years, or maybe even 10.
Losing registered voters, like I said.
Down to, what is it, 27% of the...
27% of registered voters are registered Democrat in Oklahoma.
It is a fair concern to say, and there's nobody to run against, there's a guy running against Alicia that might give her a run for her money, but she really does have a lock of people inside the party that want to reelect her, even though they're doing so bad. I don't have anything personally against her. She's a real estate person out of Tulsa, but the party itself is not doing well, and sooner or later you have to go, this isn't working.
Yeah, this isn't working.
And so you pointed that out and pointed out some other stuff.
The guy put up a question, and this is, I'm going to say Joshua Harris.
Yeah.
Put up a question. Hey man, all these Democrats that are leaving, I want to know why you're leaving, but you shouldn't be leaving and everything else. I said, well, I've been an independent for a little over 2 years. And I'm going to tell you why.
Used to be a Democrat. Used to be. Let's list off the stuff you did within the party.
One of the things that I said was I wouldn't have switched. It makes it really easy to switch to independent when you have open primaries. Yeah. I'm totally against.
Still vote.
I think that's one of your biggest reasons why you have 27%. Yeah. I know that our good friend David Glover
was part of it, and I don't agree with it either. I think it's a bad idea.
But it's a bad idea because I'm an independent. I don't really lose anything. I can still vote in the primaries. I'm still fairly liberal.
And the Dems still look like they're losing more.
Yeah. So there you go. Right. And there's one issue right there, and that's self-inflicted. Yeah. Absolutely self-inflicted.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so just so you know, the chair can put up a vote to change that, like every 2 years. Yeah. Just so you know. No one's done.
So because really, if they say, okay, no more open primaries, guess what I'm going to do?
Switch back.
I'm going to switch. I'm going to register.
Yeah, because I'm not switching to R. I just can't do it.
I'm not going to switch ever to R. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Weird. It's not going to happen just because of my ideology. Now my independent party is where my registration is, but my ideology is
from the left.
Liberal.
Right. Same with me.
Fairly liberal.
And then I don't want people to waste my money.
There you go. So I'm going to be voting for Democrats and stuff anyway. The other thing that I noticed was that, okay, so I went off. Okay, the other thing was I was actually told that, I'm too white, too middle-aged,
I've been told the same thing.
too capitalist, and connected to generational wealth. That doesn't work for me.
Right.
And that's what and you heard the same thing.
Exact same thing.
Yeah,
And
right
I
to your
actually, they
face.
tried to throw me out.
Yeah. So, they don't, and
So
if
they're
you
not
look,
helping themselves.
and go cruise through Josh Harris's profile, and you will see where he's put stuff up. We don't need a white man in our party. He even says this.
So here's the thing I want to say is they tried to throw me out when I was an elected official, and you're getting this shit as an elected official.
Yeah.
It's unusual.
But I got elected as an independent.
Right. And you would have gotten elected as a Dem
Probably.
either way, but I mean you're an independent now. You were a lifelong Dem.
So Josh has this big list of grievances against the white man, and he talks about it. They're the enemy, and that's how he sees me.
That's how you recruit people, right there.
And you wonder why you have 27%. Because here you go. Let's look at the statistics.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at the math. 7.2%. You know what 7.2% is?
I'm gonna guess that's a population.
That's the population of black people in Oklahoma. Now, really, only about 15% of those, 1 in 6, vote.
Actually vote, right?
So so now your percentage of the electorate is about 1 to 2%.
Right.
That's it, and you're quickly getting there. Believe me, you're down to 27%. You'll get there before you know it. So that's one thing. So you're going to need white people.
So this is all numbers. We have to be a coalition.
Yeah.
We have to be. That's what we're actually saying here. You got to be a coalition.
Yeah.
Whether you like people or not.
Pretty much, and the other thing is, he comes off just so arrogant, and everything else. And we got some other dirt on Josh.
Uh-oh.
That don't we?
Okay, let me clarify all this stuff real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when you try to run people out, we had a meeting here at the Irish pub across the street, Democratic meeting, and this old guy goes, "Hey, look, I know nobody really cares about my opinion here, but this," and everybody started yelling at this guy, and he goes, "Hey, I'm on your side. I don't know why you're talking to me this way, and whoever you're mad at, you need to be mad at them. I'm here to support you."
Yeah.
He left the party.
There you go. Well,
I mean, so we've got to have some commonality here, and even if it's just a common enemy, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
And so, no matter what you feel, race-wise, ethnicity-wise, sexuality-wise, or anything else, the Democratic Party is built up of a group of people.
Yeah.
Groups of people. We're not homogenous.
No.
It's not. But you got to be welcoming.
Yeah.
Period. And look, Josh has some issues. He's never won an election outside of the party. He's good at winning stuff in the party. Alicia's good at winning stuff.
He's in a lot of debt.
That is the.
He owes some people some money.
So he did have a congressional run that, as I understand, there's a whole bunch left out. Do you have the actual deals? Because I think these were there was a union shop.
Yeah, union shop.
Family owned.
For printers.
Burnt.
Printer shop.
And 2 of them that were burnt. And look, man.
Several $1,000.
When you're trying to throw everybody else out of the party and you didn't take care of your own business, this is the stuff that makes.
Well, it almost comes off anti-union. Not only that, then you have the Oklahoma Democratic Party being anti-union.
Right. Yeah.
With what was that deal about?
So it was a union busting deal, and so they wanted to use a union hall. The Democratic Party wanted to use a union hall to do a meeting.
Yeah.
And then they had an executive session, which for those of you who don't know is when all the people in charge go into another room and they talk about stuff. Then they didn't even come back and explain stuff, and it was over the union busting thing at a union hall. And this is the Democratic Party. The base of the Democratic Party used to be working people.
Yeah, working class.
So no matter what you think of unions, that's your voting base. That's like saying, hey, we don't need white people in here, we don't need union people in here, we don't need this, we don't need this. It's 27%.
This goes into strategy, man. They're so Democrats are so easily distracted. Republicans know this, and they use this game. Look, we can split workers off of them. You know how we split workers off of them? We make them defend illegal immigrants.
Right. Yeah.
Because illegal immigrants, 1, can't join a union. Right. 2, they drive wages down.
Yeah.
So there you go. The Republicans come out beating over the head with it.
I'm not even sure I agree with number 2 on that anymore.
The best thing about it is, guess what you can't do as an immigrant?
What?
You can't vote. Right. You can't vote. Not even a legal immigrant.
But you do
until
pay
you're
taxes.
a citizen. You do pay taxes, but you can't vote. Right. Their voting block is 0%. So see, Republicans get you to champion a very low percentage of people, and then they go, hey, look, they're anti-worker, and then all these workers go, yeah, they are, and then they get those votes.
Right.
They do the same thing with women. They do the same thing with women. Women's biggest voting block. They know this. How do we peel off women? Well, then we tell them that these trans people
Yeah.
are anti-women by allowing these people to compete
because
against
of-
women. And we're talking about, and here's the funny thing, we're talking about 8 people in NCAA. That's
8,
it.
yeah.
That's all they're fighting over. 8 people. We're
Mhm.
spending all this time, all this resources on 8 people in the NCAA.
And it's working.
And it's working because you see, because women is the biggest voting bloc. They're able to peel off a whole bunch of women.
Because it sounds
more than 8.
It does sound stupid defending it.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does.
Because trans people don't vote
Yeah.
either.
Right.
They don't.
So-
And even if they did, it's such a small voting bloc
It-
that they can
it's
peel
just-
off way more women than there are trans.
So
It's a numbers game.
I hope
That's how they
everybody's
do
hearing
it.
this right. It's numbers and coalitions. If you want to win as a Democrat, how do you get independence?
Yeah.
You don't go out and schmooze them and everything else. You got to find a way to include them. I'm telling you, my biggest
You know,
thing was when I ran for Democratic chair, was, look, we could just go straight down on voter registration. If you don't have the registrations, you don't have the numbers, and then people won't run in your party.
Yeah.
When Dems were in control here for 100 years, Republicans didn't run.
No.
And if they ran, they didn't spend any money
No.
because there's no reason to. Then let's talk, before we get out of here, let's talk about the economy of politics. So
Okay.
if you want to run for politics, you got to be able to raise a little bit of money.
Yep.
You have to.
You have to.
Even if it's just white pieces of paper that you go to door to door, you
Yeah.
got to raise a few $100, or
Yeah.
you use your own.
You do.
But your first time running, you shouldn't have to spend your life savings and borrow from your family to get in, which is
Yeah.
what a lot of consultants will get you to do. And then you never run again. And we have to come up with a scheme that says, look, first time you run, let us help you, and let's help you do it cheaply. And that way, if you don't win, you get in.
Hey, at least you got some name
Next time.
recognition.
Yeah,
And
and
next
next time you
time,
win.
you win by 63%.
Right. Lost by 1 vote, won 63% of the vote the next time. So it does work. You just got to do long term. And look for that. For the Joshua Harris,
Strategy, better strategy, people.
for the Joshua Harris folks out there, I get tired of this negative shit within the party. I really do. You want to know why people leave? Because the party sucks. It doesn't win.
It doesn't
That's
win.
why they leave.
See,
And
this
then you
is the-
run
this-
other people
this
off
is the
that used to
thing, right?
donate and do parties
Now-
and everything else in the party.
Yeah, they're fighting for the right cause. That's something else. Hey, man, I want to fight to defend these marginalized
Right.
people. Hey, that's noble.
Most
that's,
people I
that's great
fight for
values.
don't vote.
But
Right.
here's the problem: you got to do it smartly
Yeah.
because see, do you just want to fight or do you want to win? Because there's a difference.
I like to win.
I like to win.
Yeah. So I strategize. I come up with a plan. I follow my plan. I work my plan.
Yeah. Last thing I want to talk
All right.
about before we get out of
No,
here. 'cause
got
real
1
quick,
minute.
real
Let's
quick.
do it.
Chuck Schumer.
Oh, what an embarrassment.
What a coward. He's a coward. I like to call conservatives cowards a lot, but I
Yep.
can tell you the liberals are not exception.
No.
And you got it in Chuck Schumer.
And some
Guy's
other
a
liberals
win.
voted with the Trump.
And we talked about this last week too, about
Giving
how
away
big of a
power.
coward he
Yeah.
is. So there you go. The problems with the Democrat Party.
There's no reason to be a Democrat if you're not going to do Democratic stuff.
I mean, not smart,
And-
man. He had no strategy. He gave up you didn't even use the filibuster as a tool. You didn't talk to nobody.
Yeah.
You didn't even go early in and go, hey, man, I got the filibuster here. You guys need to talk to us.
Yeah.
Didn't smartly do it. And then you got Jeffries over there in the House who's just a wallflower. I mean, it's like
I don't
Bueller,
really like the
Yeah.
thing that you said to do there.
Bueller.
Look, if,
That's his personality.
I don't need somebody in charge that's afraid to fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
Yeah.
need it. I need somebody that's really and legitimately willing to get in there and get dirty and fight. I don't have to agree with anybody's politics all the time. Just
Yeah.
gotta fight, or I don't need you.
There you go. Let's get
Get
out.
out of here. See
Later,
ya.
guys. See ya.
All right, you got yours.
Yeah, if I can get it.
Boom.
Where's it at?
There you go. Hit OK. Hit OK. There you go.